Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Warren from the Rhapsody Piano Studio. I want to welcome you to today's live lesson. I'm going to be teaching you how to play Burn from Hamilton, and this is for easy piano. All right, let me fix this camera real quick. Okay, make sure you pick up a copy of the sheet music of this. It's going to be in the links where I put them every video, which is the cards, description, just play with the sheet music. And if you don't know how to read, I do have some resources to help you with that, so make sure to check those out. Last thing before we start, if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to catch whenever I go live on these lessons and when my tutorials come out on a daily basis as well. All right, this is Burn. So what you want to do the first time around is to pick the smallest part possible in order to practice that. Sometimes a lot of, not sometimes, a lot of the times when I'm teaching students, it's really rare to find a student who knows the correct way to practice. But most of the time they just play the whole song from beginning to end. Really not a good way to practice. If you just want to do that for fun, that's fine. But when you're practicing, pick a small part and then just practice that. Continue on with the next section. Hi Charles, how's it going, my UK friend? How are things out there? I hear it's not so good, but I hope you're being safe. Yeah, so you're just gonna practice a small part at a time, and if you need to do hands separate, go ahead and do that, but here it's not necessary. We don't really have to practice hands separately here, okay? All right, so just the right hand. Let me play it one more time for you, and this time we're also gonna cut out the intro because it's kind of repetitive. So another way to practice, you can cut out parts that are kind of repetitions, right? Repetitious, okay? So I'm just gonna play it with the second ending, skipping that repeat the first time around, and you can shorten your practice when you do that. All right, so that's all we're gonna practice. Let's try it together. Ready, go. All right, and then we just pick the next smallest part. Okay, and I'll give you about 4 measures. And as I go on this lesson, I'll probably do longer and longer sections, both to kind of help you increase your concentration, give you more of a challenge, also give you a target to hit, right? So every time you get comfortable at one level, if you want to make good progress, fast progress on piano, you just want to continue to work outside your comfort zone, okay? All right, so this is, I saved every letter, okay? To 4 measures at a time. We stopped at mine, okay? I'm gonna have to give you words here because there are no measure numbers in this arrangement. Let me play for you one more time. Okay, now here you can practice hands separate. What I would do, I wouldn't necessarily count the notes in the left hand, the beat. I would just kind of go through each one of these notes. And then when you when you put the right hand back in and you do it together, that's when you can practice the rhythm, okay? So let me show you again. That's literally the pattern I would practice in the left hand. Let me do it one more time, and you can do it with me if you'd like. You see here, I'm kind of breaking down the skeleton of it. If you kind of count this, it's kind of a waste of time because why do you want to hold this for longer beats when you're gonna do it with both hands anyway? So you also shorten the time to practice this as well. It's a really good what you want to do in practice as well, saving time. Okay, try that with me. Ready, go. Then I'll also do that with the left hand since it's just a lot of single note parts. Whenever we have that, I'll practice it that way, okay? All right, then we go back to both hands. Okay, let's try it together. Ready, set, go. Okay, and then the same thing with the next section from mine, you said you were. Alright, and then the same thing I showed you in the left hand. We have single notes here, so we're just gonna play it this way. Let me show you one more time. Okay, we'll slow it down. Ready, go. Then back to both hands. Okay, try that together. Ready, go. Alright, and another way to practice, if you're using a metronome, definitely you want to be practicing with a metronome at all times. If you're having a hard time counting this because they're telling you to do every dotted quarter note BPM 60, sometimes that's kind of hard to count longer beats like that. So you can actually just triple that, right, to make it 180. That way, every single one of these eighth notes is now the beat. So you kind of subdivide it, a little easier to practice the rhythm that way. And then you go back to 60 BPM, okay? All right, so I think now is a good point to go back to the beginning and we're gonna connect it all together, which is kind of the last step of this process. And I'm teaching you how to practice here. I want you to understand that this not only applies for this song, Burn, Hamilton, okay? Anything you're playing, any level you're playing, any genre, whatever level, whatever genre of music you're at, this applies to everything you want to play. I'm teaching you guys universal principles here. What I show you here, you can apply to any music that you're practicing, okay? All right, now we go back to the beginning, give it a listen. Once again, skipping the repeat, just to save time. Of course, if you're doing this as a performance, you don't want to skip that, right? You can add a little pedal here if you'd like, but I like to keep it a little dry. Try that together. Ready, go. Okay, now this lesson is pretty much what it is, a lesson, right? I'm teaching you how to practice what the steps are, the instructions. Once you're comfortable with this idea, all these concepts that I'm showing you here, you know, like when you feel like, okay, like it's almost memorized, the way to truly test out your knowledge is to click on over to the tutorial as well, which will be in the cards, all right? Also in the description. So if you're able to use the tutorial and without really, you know, like any help from me, it's basically just, you know, listening to the whole song from the beginning and practicing the sections that you need to practice the most. If you can use the tutorial, then congratulations, you're really understanding how to practice not only this song, but anything on piano. And of course, you can watch a lot of other lessons to continue to, I mean, you kind of need to learn these ideas over time. You're not going to get it done in one lesson. So it's lesson after lesson. Same thing with my students, right? Weekly lessons, I teach them how to play the song, not only play the song that they're working on, but universal idea of practicing any music. And then they just, between our lessons, you know, 7 days a week, right? The whole entire week, they just use the tutorials to guide their own practice. And it's really cool. It really works out because they show up to the lesson. Sometimes they have the whole song done, and that's pretty awesome. All right, okay, here's the next part. Now I am giving you a longer section here you showed, just showing, it's kind of obvious, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So instead of 4 measures at a time, now I'm giving you 8 measures at a time. And Yeah, and as you're able to accomplish these objectives, these goals that I set for you, do longer and longer sections at this level, then that probably means this music is getting a little too easy, this level. So go ahead and challenge yourself by doing some music at a more difficult level as well. Maybe multiple, songs or pieces at this level. That's a really good way to practice as well. Oh, I am so glad to hear that, Charles. This is what I do these lessons for, really to help anyone out here who's not able to have access to high quality lessons. Hopefully, you guys are learning a lot from here. And Charles, I think you are living proof that this stuff does work, and you've been around for a long time. So I'm sure it wasn't easy for you, but kudos to you for figuring it out. All right, now left hand here, it's basically a B minor chord. So we're gonna play that, then this pattern. And D major chord, and then we have a E minor chord, back to B minor, and then just single notes. Yeah, so if you have patterns like these, very simple and multiple notes, I like to just block it out together. Even the next part, I did this, but you could just do this, right? Angelica said when we sing. So these two notes at the same time. Let me show you one more time. We'll try it together. Okay, try that with me. Ready, go. Yeah, so sometimes when you see single notes like this, it's not to just play every note rhythmically. Sometimes the goal is just to go through each harmony, as fast as possible, as comfortably as possible, right? So that's why, doing this I think is a much better option than just playing one note at a time like so. Okay? All right, back to the let's just do the right hand here first. Okay, now when you play that one love, whenever you get to black keys and then taking this with your thumb, make sure your hand is a little higher up on the keys, because a lot of students tend to try to play it down here. Makes your wrists all uncomfortable. So you can just go up, and then your thumb's gonna be right under, or yeah, right above the black key. Okay. All right. Let's try it together. Ready, go. And also, when you're playing these repeated notes with the pinky, you want to keep your wrists loose. It's kind of like dribbling a basketball, okay? So, it's like not your whole arm like that, right? But just your wrists up and down. So you might just want to do this a little time just to get the feeling of it, right? Just really loose and comfortable, but still controlled with the fingertip, right? Kind of hard to pull off, right? But it's also good practice, okay? All right, let's go back to both hands. Together, ready, go. All right, another pro tip, and this is more if you're using my tutorials to practice, is you can always slow it down. You can change the speed that button, and of course YouTube doesn't really do a good job of advertising its features, but you can change the speed when you're practicing this. And one of my students actually pointed it out like years ago, so I didn't know as well. But yeah, you can do it at your own speed, which is another reason to use the tutorials, right? Okay, all right, we're just gonna keep going from words flooded. actually, yeah, let's break it down again. Left hand, right? Looks like the same pattern here. So that is the basic pattern. Let's try it together. Ready, go. Yeah, and then I do realize sometimes I don't, go slow enough or work on each section, as many times as you need to. So that's why, again, I encourage you to just use the tutorials, because you can just skip to that part, just kind of rewind, and play it at your own leisure as many times as you want. Okay, so when I show you these, it's just getting comfortable with how I would approach it. So it's not necessarily like practicing it, because I'm not going to practice this, right? Not trying to brag, but this is not something I need to practice, right? But if something you need to practice, that's why I suggest using the tutorials. You use this to understand the ideas behind effective practicing, and use the tutorials to make it more customized, individual. Okay. All right. Here's just the right hand. Okay, try to do that together. Ready, go. Okay, back to both hands. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, and I'm still trying to figure out where is a good place to put it all together. So I'm just kind of taking a look at the sheet music. After this next section, we'll probably go back to the beginning and put it all together. Okay, so reading the letters. To burn. So we're gonna stop at that measure. That kind of sounds like a little interlude, that section. So definitely a good place to stop. And then we're gonna practice this part and go all the way back to the beginning. Okay. Reading. Here's the left hand. These basic patterns to practice again. Okay. Try that with me. Ready. Go. I haven't done this in the lesson so far, but you can even just block it together. Like so. So that's also another legit way to practice if you want to get more of a sense of what the harmony is supposed to sound like, okay? All right, just the right hand. Okay, let's try that together. Reading letters and then stopping at to burn. Ready, go. Okay, back to both hands. Okay, so like I was saying, we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning and then practice that together. I'm not gonna do hands separate. Just save a little bit of time here. We're just gonna practice both hands. Once again, skipping that repeat in the beginning. We'll try this together. Don't worry about it. I'll slow it down. Ready, go. Okay, so we're gonna just show you the rest of this lesson with the same ideas. I might not do longer sections just to save you guys some time in this lesson. But last thing before we keep going, just want to ask you guys if you're enjoying this lesson and it's been helping you so far, hit that like button. It really does help me out a lot. Good way to show your support for this channel as well, and for me to continue to do these free lessons for you guys. And if you know anyone who would love to learn this on piano after the lesson is over, go ahead and share this video with them as well. Or if you're watching after the live stream, I guess you could do that right now. All right, anyway, let's keep going from To Burn. It's like a little short interlude. Okay, sounds like the same melodies coming back. And then also on the right hand here, To Burn, you're just gonna hold the top note. The reason why these ties on the top notes, right? You're not gonna play that again. I just kind of change the bottom note here. I think the same thing happens next part. So actually here, you would practice the left hand more and the right hand, kind of reverse these ideas where the left hand was playing these blocks. But now you can kind of do the same thing on the left and the right hand. So just going through that pattern, that's all that is, right? Okay, so let me show you again. You can practice this on your own. Use a little pedal to connect that if you can. All right, now the left hand. I'll show you I just play this one note at a time. I think it's a lot easier. It's more active, the left hand. And if you notice this pattern with the rhythm, I love it when they do these in some songs. Kind of, right? So instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just kind of feels like 1, 2, 3. It's a bit longer, so spread out. It's kind of cool. Make sure you count that appropriately, okay? All right. So left hand from To Burn. Ready, go. Okay, back to both hands. Okay, let's try that together. Ready, go. Continue on here. Looks like what you're saying. Let's just keep going. gave you the entire major section here, a bit longer section, but going back to what I said in the beginning, try to challenge yourself, right? Of course, when you're getting comfortable with this, if this is too much, then use the tutorial and then just practice only the parts you need. Okay. All right. By the way, if you want something more structured, I do have more playlists in the cards as well. Also, you can look up the description and comment section as well, right? Practice guides, which is more structured. I'm kind of showing you one measure, without any explanation for me, right? So some songs I've made practice guides for, so you can literally see practice measures 1 to 10, then 10 to whatever, and putting it all together. So a lot more structured, a lot more detailed if you want something like that. Okay. All right. We're just gonna do both hands together. All right. Here we go. Published. Ready. Go. I'll give you the next section. So this is from words. Okay, taking some time there, a little ritardando, rallentando. Although before you practice with the little rallentando, retardando, which means to kind of slow things down, you want to make sure the rhythm is exact first. So don't even think about slowing it down until you have the rhythm just pretty much set. Okay. All right, let's try that together. Where was I? Words. Okay, ready, go. Okay, let's keep going here. A little slow section here. If you're practicing with the metronome, make sure to do it at 50. Kind of slows down by 10 beats. Okay, and then there's a little accelerando, right? Accelerando means to speed things up. This is kind of hard to practice because the accelerando is basically you need to time it the right way. So it's like over 2 measures, getting into that a tempo. So let's say from the accelerando, it's accelerando, right? 50, and then by the time you get to the a tempo, you have to get perfectly right back to 60. I mean, more or less. You don't have to be completely exact between like 0.01% accuracy, okay? Just like as good as you can. So one thing I would recommend doing is practicing this section both in 50, the speed that they're giving you, but also 60. So you just kind of go back and forth between, and then you'll kind of naturally be able to pick up on the rhythm. Of course, it's kind of, you're not gonna be able to practice this with a metronome, the accelerando, so you kind of have to turn the metronome off for a spell, and then just kind of, for a spell, God, such an old-fashioned word, for a bit, right? Why did that word come to me for a second? Okay, so you want to turn it off for a bit and then just practice the accelerando by itself, okay? So you're not gonna be able to do it with the metronome. All right, let me show you again. From I am erasing. Something like that. And the way I do it, you don't want to take my example because I'm probably gonna do it like differently every single time. Okay. All right. So let's try that together. And also at the slower section here, you might not even think about counting it. It's just kind of like you just play with a little freedom. They might not. I don't know the actual song. I haven't listened to it, but here they might not even be doing it with the actual like beat. Just kind of just going freely and a lot slower. Okay. All right. I'm raising. Ready, set, go. And then back to a tempo. Okay, we're gonna take it from there. exercise is stop right there. The world. Okay, so this part, where are we? At the odd tempo, reacted, acted. Ready, go. All right, taking it on from the world. To heart. Okay, let's try that together. I'll give you these chords real quick on the left hand. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do hands separate. All right, ready, go. Hey, Chalky, you're welcome as always. My thanks to you as well, my friend, for always being here at these lessons. You're awesome, dude. All right, here's the right hand. From, oh yeah, world. Sorry, I went a little too far back. The world. Okay, yeah, let's try that together. Ready, go. Okay, back to both hands. All right, ready, go. Alright, now next section I'm going to give you is just the whole entire ending. Alright, well, we can call that the coda, but yeah, it's going to be the last part. Let's try it together. Actually, give a listen first, of course. That's cool. I like when they suspended chord. It's really nice. Alright, here, you see this? That little rhythm comes back. Then when you play, I hope that you. Here, you don't need to count again. It's just kind of just her singing freely. And take a breath, and we're back to the tempo, right? And then here, I don't know if I'm doing this in the tutorial, but I'm doing it here. I'm taking a thumb from the black to white key. Really common technique people use. Pianists, right? I like this because you can slide. It takes a bit of control, but I'm not using any pedal, and I'm also getting a legato at the same time. So it's a really nice technique for you guys to learn. Okay? All right. Pianists typically employ that technique a lot. All right, let's try this together from heart. Ready, go. Remember, take some time here. breather, and okay, so before you go, quick recap. And also, if you want to check out additional resources, hit up the cards, lots of playlists and additional things for you to view there, as well as in the description. Whatever level you're at, whatever topic you're interested in, I'm sure I've covered it. So make sure to look at those additional resources. Okay. So quick recap of how to practice. Just do one part at a time. You can think of it as the things I like to tell my student, slices to a musical pizza, right? So you eat one slice, you eat the next slice, then you switch to Legos and you put it together. I don't know, you go from pizza to Legos, right? But one part, hand separate if necessary. The next part, hand separate if necessary. And then just whenever you feel appropriate, sometimes you have 1, 2, 3 parts, sometimes 4 parts, sometimes 2 parts. Just whenever you want to connect it together into a bigger section, just go ahead and whenever it is appropriate for you, do that. And you just keep doing that until you have the whole entire song, piece, whatever it is that you're practicing, done. And again, this is a process that you can use for any song, at any level, any genre, okay? All right, so if you guys enjoyed that one, remember to pick up a copy of the sheet music if you haven't. You can learn by ear. You can go ahead. I'm not really good at teaching that, but I don't have anything against that. But I just think it's just much more easier to learn to read the sheet music. You can always learn to learn by ear, like at the same time. But learning to read sheet music, anyone can get started on that. Not everyone can play by ear. That's why I'm really not that good at it. But anyone can get good at learning to read the sheet music, which is why I primarily teach by sheet music. There's a lot of sheet musics. Okay. And then make sure you hit that like button on the way out, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video. I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome and happy practicing.